Hello everyone, welcome to 16 Bits channel, and the scope for today is the Atomic API Java. We talk about the atomic integer and then AtomicLong. The purpose of use the atomic integer or use the AtomicLong is guaranteeing the correct value when I use the integer or a long. If you have multiple threads, change the value for some number or some variable. In this case, you need to guarantee this correct value should be get. Okay, so let's think in a scenario where you have, let's say, multiple threads getting the same count a lot of times, and sometimes you want to get the correct, but you get the wrong value. This should be the start of a problem in your system, just to be sure you are reading the correct value and the correct time or value for every call. You need to use the atomic integer or AtomicLong. Depending on your capacity, in fact, the variable capacity, you need to choose the integer or a long. But this is just to give to you an overview. And just to remember, the strategy is guarantee the correct value for your code and for your system. Okay, so this is the overview. This is the third part of the numbers. I bring it on the next video, the long adder, the double adder as well, and then finalize on the next for, let's say, two videos more. Okay, so then let's full steam ahead and see the code and see how you can simulate and test. In fact, let's test this kind of threads using executors and repeated tests on JUnit 5. Okay, so just to recap again, we will see today on this video AtomicLong, AtomicLong, or in fact atomic integer, AtomicLong, repeated test, int string and int long, and executors. Okay, so a lot of, let's say, words, new words in fact, but as I said before, let's full steam ahead. Okay, so let's dive to the code right now. Hello again everyone. Right now let's see the presentation regarding the atomic and also see how the code works. Okay, basically we see here some letters. It's not a word because it's a little bit mixed. Then this is happen when you try to use a non-atomic number or non-atomic type when you're working with multiple threads. Okay, so then what the atomic does is put this one in a right way. Okay, so this is the content for today. You have to remember AtomicLong and atomic integer. So we have two types, only two types. Don't have the atomic short or atomic byte or atomic double. For this is just atomic integer and AtomicLong. And what exactly is the atomics? This slide is showing what does for integer is we can change the integer for long. In this case, let's see, cannot be used as replacement for an integer. You can enrich for a long, cannot be used as replacement for a long. This is the main difference between them. And also, as I said before, the capacity to store the numbers, since the long has the double capacity instead, double capacity of an integer. Okay, so how can you identify this kind of type and how can you use the atomic to replace? In this case, in this presentation here, you have the private volatile count and then count plus plus. I mean, every time I'm calling the get count method, the count is incremented. In this case, when you have multiple threads, we can get some wrong results, not update results. Instead, when I use the atomic integer, in this case, always you are getting the result correctly, the right result, okay? So let's see more deeply inside the code and see how we can also test this kind of situation, this kind of approach. Right here, we have a snippet from the unit test using the unit 5. And then here I'm creating 5 threads, in this case 5 threads to execute the same code. This is normal in some kind of situation, in some kind of applications. You don't, let's say, running always using one thread. If you using one thread, it's okay. You don't need to use the AtomicLong or atomic integer. But in this case, when you have multiple threads, is to be a good decision from perspective of design and code to use atomic integer or AtomicLong. In this case, I'm creating a list using the min and max value to iterate over these numbers, okay? And then for each number, I call the increment and get of the atomic integer API, and also I create a non class here using the increment count as int is a volatile type, and try to update every time this code, okay? And then I'm waiting for 2 seconds the execution, because this don't have an integration, it's just a for, and I don't have to wait the database or a queue or something like that, okay? Then I'm checking this always be null, because I'm expecting these tests running softly. And also I'm always check is not equal. This is the important to see. This is not equal. Every time I'm trying to execute this test should be not equal, okay? So this AtomicLong, I'm take a look in a few seconds, but it's the same idea, okay? Let's see how the code works. Right, let's put more bigger. Okay, this is so good, okay? Now, right here, we have the, just to my system operation, because I'm trying to work on that right now. And then I want to repeat this test 3 times, okay? If you want, you can place test is for just 1, or choose, let's say, I want to execute this test 10 times to see what happened. And then now here I'm creating my atomic is a class created by me, and let's see this class here as just command B. And right here I have, as I said before, the volatile for int and volatile for long. Okay, now I have the increment count, and then the get method to get the final result. Okay, then what happened here? As I said on the slide before, I'm iterate over this number here, and then I want to check it's not equal every time. So if you want, you can check or change, in fact, this log to be info instead of find, because info will see the value. Okay, so now we can back again and execute. If you ask to me, okay, I have only, let's say, 100 iterations. Oh, sorry, buffer lost, sorry. I have some error here. Buffer, what is the buffer, man? What, just a second. Buffer, let's, no, oh, this is weird. I don't have any buffer here. What is telling for buffer? My atomic, second, this is compiling. Just a second, please. Let's see what happened. Hands-on resolving, let's same way. Maven clean compile. Let's see, this is compiling, maybe something is wrong, should be, but let's see. Okay, this is compiling, so no problem. And then let's see the execution right now. I want to execute this test. Now I'm building the code. Okay, I want to see the background task is writing, updating, finishing, scanning for JDK. Now instantiating the test. That's good. Maybe because firstly, or in fact before, I'm using the Visual Code to show the code, but I suppose this Visual Code is not, I'm not, let's say, good enough to work with Visual Code, so I prefer IntelliJ. So in this case here, let's say, in Atomic, we have the same value declared here, and non-atomic, in this case, the volatile, we have number different, and then the same number and wrong number, the same number and number wrong. This I'm missing in this fact more than 100 execution. This is should be an issue or raise a bug in your system. This is a penetration. This is a, let's say, you need to be aware when you need to decide what kind of type you need to use. Okay, pay attention for that. Okay, this is the main idea. If you have here 100, maybe I suppose we don't have any issue because we can use the same here, because it's so few executions, and this is fine. It's not, let's say, huge result or huge executions. Let's see what happened right now. Okay, it's working. You see, in this case, when you have few executions, you have two passing in this case, and then one should be different, but is not different. Instead of using for more results or more executions, this should be fail for sure. Okay, let's back to presentation. And let's see the AtomicLong. As I said before, the only difference between AtomicInteger and AtomicLong is change the AtomicInteger for AtomicLong and the capacity. They have the methods, let's say, get some number when the number is achieved and so on. I want to, in fact, I just to bring to you the idea, then you can go by the API and see the methods and play with the methods, okay? So, as I said, just to change, in this case on previous slide, an integer to a long, in this case a long, and this is the same, this is I got from the API Java. And this is the same way, okay? Now we have the code here, and to change and to guarantee if everything is fine, the system working as was designed, is working well, is using this way, okay? Change the volatile, or if you not use the volatile, just to recap for you, when you have some numbers and you need to, some threads executing and you need to hit this value, the system don't use the cached value and use always the real value, but sometimes using a lot of results or a lot of executions, this is not achieved using the volatile. You need to use the atomic instead. And then let's see the code. The code is the same. I mean, the scratch or the boilerplate for the code for the test is the same. Okay, now you have this min and max value, the change for int string to a long string, and then the same, let's say the same approach. And right here, I put also the reference for AtomicInteger, AtomicLong, the GitHub where the project is, and also some reference to Stack Overflow, because Stack Overflow always give to you some good responses or good discussions regarding some topics and help you to not be a full stack developer full stack overflow. You need to think about your decisions, about your projects. Stack Overflow should be just to help you on some specific kind of situation or a specific decision or a specific error. But in my opinion, you should be aware what are you doing and how are you doing in your project and your code or in your personal projects, okay? Just to hit before and try to abstract the good and the bad practices also, and don't use the bad practices also, the good practice, okay? So let's back to the code again. I want to show for you just the, let's see here, how to have the AtomicLong. It is on. This is the difference between is here, and can use the mean as I put on the presentation and put here mean equal 0 and max is the yes, okay. I use on the two lines. I'm using the another keyboard for this. I'm using the keyboard and the Spanish is a little bit different, so some keys are different, and Mac is awful. But it's okay. Right now, as I said before, 1 million, it should be work so good, so expected. If you decrease also the number of threads, it should be impacted on AtomicLong and volatile, okay? So I'm execution right now 3 times, and the 3 times should be passed. If you want to not pass this test, if you change this value for, let's say, 2 threads, I suppose this test will be failed because we have few threads, and when I have few threads, the volatile works well. Let's see what happened. I'm expecting 1 error or 1 failed, in fact. Let's see. Okay, I'm wrong. Maybe not. Maybe change for 1. Don't make sense to change to 1. Okay, but just to be aware, this is execution and so on. And right now, this should be a long, because this long string can execute by, let's say, if you want to change for long max, should be stored. Okay, because this method is expecting a long, and then long, as I said before, is more the double the capacity of int. Okay, so for today, that's it. I imagine help to you on this kind of situation to work with Atomic or volatile, or even to use more than, let's say, threads and so on. Okay, just to be aware, this kind of class in Java exists, and you, let's say, is facing some problem in the future, or even your project, or want to help someone, this should be a good choice. Okay, see you on the next video, and thank you for your time and your comprehension. Bye bye.